Hello, everyone. Welcome to Line Breakers, show number 24. I'm Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets. We are here to bring you a super wildcard weekend show. We have a lot less games this week because it is the playoffs, the best time of the year. The NFL regular season is over and done with, and we'll get into those numbers a little bit later. Benny Buckets, we killed it, to put it lightly, in the NFL season because we pick every single game. But yeah,
we did have a bye week. We did have a bye week there in week 7.
We did have a bye week. Yes,
yes. Not every season, but
we're like most teams. We need a break. I'm a little banged up, but we're right back to it. But there's 6 games on the slate this week. We're only going to give you guys 2 best bets. We're not going to give you 3 because that would be literally picking half the games as our best bets, and we don't want to do that. And then we'll of course have our upset special. But let's dive into the numbers. But first, Benny Buckets, how are you today?
Doing well here. Doing well, Greg. We are back for another round. We had some good stuff going on here. As always, before we get started, we might have to use this is the wrong side. We're on the basketball, but now we're perfect. We're back there. We're back now. The Caesars, the great Caesar himself, Caesars Sports.
Oh, we are. I think it's 2-1. We are 2-1 now in the year of being able to read it.
Live and in living color here. Yes, 2-1. Not just the white. It's a white screen, but there's also some readable language on it as well. So we're back with that. 2-1 since we've been keeping track. We did not keep track for about the first 14 weeks. So, but we're back with that. We're gonna start off actually, if you don't mind, on the college football. We both had a very disappointing end.
Yes.
To college football.
Drop the ball on that one.
Drop the ball. Georgia was an outright winner. Georgia was an outright winner. I believe they won by 15, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 31-16, I think. Something, or
it was 33-18, I think.
33-18. Okay, 33-18. Thank you, sir.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, we should have went with the under, but we went with Alabama getting the points. And teams that play in the national championship that previously played in the earlier in the season, teams that won the first matchup are now a interesting record of 0-7. 0-7 in those matchups.
Wow.
Now 1-6 against the spread. So if it happens again, probably pick the team that lost in the first.
I mean, we had the right play. You don't bet against Alabama when they're getting points. So I mean,
we had an unfortunate injury in the second quarter with Jamison Williams, not just
torn ACL
for him as well. Very, very sad to go out that way. I believe he's going into the draft, if I'm not mistaken. So
he is.
He will. That will be his last memory there. John Mechie also go. John Mechie the third Mechie. He is going into the draft, and there were some notables today. Nakobe Dean will be in the draft. A lot of 5 people from Georgia declared they were going to the draft as well, which makes sense. Go out on top, but so it was a good season. At the end of the day, where we ended up in the college football, Benny Buckets is 208 and 203 for 411 games. Thank you. Game Day Greg 196 and 215. Still a very solid showing considering we literally picked every Saturday game, I believe, from the third.
Every single Saturday game, folks. Every single one. We didn't. That's crazy. I don't know too many people that do that.
Including about 60% of the bowl games as well. So where we finished up as well. Best bets, we did not have it obviously for the national championship game. There's only one game, but Game Day Greg 10 and 12 and 18, excuse me, 12 and 18, and then upset special, he was 2 and 3. Best bets for Benny Buckets, 14 and 15. Oh, sorry, 14 and 16. Yes, 14 and 15. No, 14 and 15 because the UCLA game there, the Bulls did not go up when they had 2 best bets. So yes, 14 and 15. I was trying to read my handwriting, folks. Sometimes that can be with the challenges. You know, if we post handwritten picks to the Twitter, it's Game Day Greg who
right. That's okay.
Task, so that's very good. So very good for those who like to read them and for it to be legible. So
Benny Buckets picks them, Game Day Greg writes them. So
exactly.
The whole team there.
Exactly. Upset special was also 2 and 3 as well, same as Game Day Greg in the college football. Now moving on to the main event here, the NFL football here for week number 18, where everything shook out. Both Game Day Greg and Benny Buckets are 8-8. We both finished the year overall above 500. Game Day Greg leading the way, leading the charge. 102, 87, and 91 out of the 190 games we picked. He tied one and he won 102. So that's very impressive. So it was around.
I believe the update is 110, 95, and 1 after this past week.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Yes, that was after week 70. 110, 95, and 1. That's 206 games. So let's take a look. 110. He was 54%, 53.6. We'll give him the best top. 54% on the year. Round up. 54%. His best bets, he was 1 and 2. Overall best bets now, he is 24 and 21. Still impressive, over 500 and 500 again in this category as well. He finishes up the year. He was 0-1 last week. The Falcons did not win or cover, as a matter of fact, against the New Orleans Saints, but he was still 5-4 on the upset special. So we won't do the loud upset special till later, because we understand that there's a decibel volume in the Mississippi area that we don't want to.
It's okay. A playoff upset special, I feel like, is going to be louder than a regular season upset special. So
will you be participating in the playoff upset special?
I will not.
Challenge?
I will. This is Benny Bucket's segment. I'm just here to watch and laugh because it's very funny.
Fair enough. I understand. For myself here, Benny Buckets 103, 102, and 1. I believe that's just probably not even 51%, but
like 50 and a half.
Yeah, probably right around it. 103 out of 205. Not even 50.24. So we'll round down 50% for Benny Buckets, but that's better than most folks. Most people don't break 50%.
And most people don't bet.
And most people
pick every game.
Most people don't pick every game either. I was about to say, yes. You see a lot of places they pick 3 games. They do the super contest rules. They'll pick 5 games. They're not picking every game, folks. They're not picking 14 to 16 games a week. So overall best bets here. Best bets this week. Last week I was 2-1. 2-1, and overall is 25 and 20 on the best bets. What is that? 5, something around 55%, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then upset specials, we won last week. The Raiders came through for us. Almost didn't get almost had a tie with the upset special there. But
we'll talk about that.
Brandon Staley gave us the gift that keeps on giving there, with 4th downs from his own 18 and timeouts when the other team is willing and able to book him and stamp him a trip to Buffalo. But he turned it down. I guess he didn't want to freeze his ass off tomorrow night, folks.
Right.
Don't blame him. Yeah, don't blame him. Don't blame him. I was recording on a Friday. He realized he doesn't get paid extra for winning the game, and for the playoffs, he doesn't get paid extra. So he opted for the shorter trip back to LA than the longer trip to Buffalo. Yes. Be that as it may. So the Raiders won that. So that brought us up to 4-5. Game Day Greg did get us on the upset special at the regular season, 5-4, besting Benny Buckets at 4-5. But Benny Buckets had the better overall best bets also by a game, 25 and 20 over 24 and 21. And of course, Game Day won the regular season challenge here by
7 games.
3.5 games on total, but seven games, 3.5 games in baseball standings, but 7 games, in the math.
And the win total, yes.
The win total. So in the loss column. So. But anyway, we will move forward here. We have a brand new week. We do have, as we said, we had the Caesars Sportsbook app. The disclaimer, of course, we can't forget that. Please gamble with only what funds you can afford to lose. Please gamble responsibly. Past performance is not indicative of future results. And of course, please look at, this is the Game Day Greg edition disclaimer. Please look at multiple sports books, as they can have different lines and different prices depending on when you're looking, and maybe they may offer some specials. They may offer boosted odds depending what mobile provider you're going with, if assuming you're in a state that has mobile sports betting, if that's the case. Even if it's not a state that has mobile sports betting, if you're near land-based casinos, then they may have different lines there too. If it's within a relatively close proximity, it may be worth scoping those odds out, online and seeing which casino to place your wagers at. So anyway, we'll move forward here. We're going to go first to a week number 18. Week number 18. Week number 1 of the playoffs, week number 19.
Week 19, yeah.
19 in the wild card round. I guess now it's a super wild card round because there's an additional game now. There used to be 4 games on wild card weekend. Now there's 6 games on wild card weekend, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the opening game of the weekend, the kickoff to the NFL playoffs. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders are getting 5.5 points on the road. This has been bet down, folks. It was up at 6.5 previously. It went down all the way to 5. Now it's back up to 5.5. The Bengals are minus 5.5. Both sides minus 110. The Raiders are plus 190 on the money line. Cincinnati minus 230, and the total points in this game 48.5 minus 110 to both sides. Before we get into it, there is a weather update. I believe there's some weather in the Cincinnati area tomorrow to be. Oh no, there is not. The forecast has since changed from earlier in the week. It looks like it'll be a mostly cloudy day. Winds shouldn't be a factor, around 10 miles an hour when the game kicks off, and it should be about 30 degrees. So a balmy 32 compared to where the second game will be. And we will allow Game Day Greg to lead us off on this one.
Thank you, Benny Buckets. Yeah, no weather. That's certainly interesting with the over under there. I like the Bengals here though. I like the Bengals minus 5.5. I just think they're going to be ready for this game. The Raiders have to travel cross country, but that doesn't necessarily matter for the playoffs. When I look at these two teams, I like Joe Burrow more than I like Derek Carr. I like the weapons around Joe Burrow with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. I mean, the list seems to go on and on on the Bengals side. And the Raiders, I mean, who's their number 1 wide receiver right now? Besides Hunter Renfrow, like Zay Jones.
Darren Waller,
yes. But I mean, Zay Jones is your
Bryan Edwards.
Second wide receiver. Bryan Edwards. Okay. But no, I like the Bengals here. I think they'll get up for this game at home. Their fans are going to be pumped. The stadium's going to be rocking. Who Dat? Who Day?
Who Dat is Who Dat? You should know. You live in Who Dat territory there with the
Yes,
Saints.
I do. So interestingly enough, Who Day from the Bengals was before Who Dat of the Saints. So if you want to play who started it first, I'm sure it's going to be an ESPN segment. Who started it first? But the Bengals did start it first. I always thought for some reason the Saints, but that is not the case. So yeah, give me the Bengals minus 5.5.
Yeah, very good. I definitely understand where you're coming from on that pick. Excuse me, drop my pen there. Excellent. So I don't disagree, but a hard time picking the Bengals. They have not won, folks, a playoff game in over 30 years. They have not won a playoff game in over 30 years.
They're due.
They are due, as was Georgia on Monday night. 0-6, I believe, or 0-7. Kirby Smart against Nick Saban.
Right.
In Georgia-Alabama matchup. So they're certainly that's good karma for the Bengals. They're trying to break that playoff winning drought, I should say. But I'm going to go a little bit differently here now that we have confirmed weather scenarios. I am going to go with the over in this game, the over 48.5. A reason I'm going to go that way is because while the Raiders do have a good pass rush, they have done a pretty good job getting after the quarterback, especially with Max, with two X's on the Crosby. Not to be confused with Mason Crosby or Sidney Crosby or Crosby's gas stations in Western New York for you frequenters of petroleum establishments in Western New York and other sundry areas in the Great Lakes.
Oh boy.
Yes. But that was just something that we needed to
this is playoff talk now. We have graduated
we had the playoff tangents. So we have the playoff tangents.
Yes, we graduated from geography and moved over to petroleum establishment. So this is interesting.
Yes, absolutely. So but I like the over. I think that the Raiders secondary is very questionable at best. They have lost a number of pieces, including Jonathan Abram and Trayvon Mullins, I believe, is also out. He's been out for a little while, one of their better quarters, and and Jonathan Abram, who's their starting safety. They also cut a starter at the beginning of the year in the cornerback position, Damon Arnett. He is no longer with the team. I believe performance issues. So I like the over in this game. I do think the Raiders. I don't think the Bengals have the best defense in the world, so I think they'll be able to put up some points. So I like the over. I feel more confident in the over. So give me the over in this game, over 48.5.
Perfect.
Here.
Here's the game. Here's the game.
And we'll let Game Day Greg go first here. This is a game that he will be most tuned into. He'll be most enthralled with and most wrapped up in this weekend. It's the New England Patriots going to Orchard Park and do a frigid, we may add, Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills at Highmark Stadium. The Bills are 4.5-point favorites. This is bandied back and forth here, folks. It opened up as a 4.5-point favorite. It got down as low as 3.5 points in some spots. It's back up to 4.5. It was at 4 for a bit of a duration here. Both sides are -110. The Pats are obviously +4.5. The Bills are -4.5. Same money line here, interestingly enough, despite the spread being a point closer as the Raiders-Bengals game. The money line is the Patriots +190, the Bills -230 on Caesars Sportsbook app. And the total points in this game is 44, -110, both the over and the under.
Yeah, this is the game. This is what we've been waiting for, folks. I am so excited. I could throw up. I'm so excited. Yeah.
You may literally do that, folks. So don't.
I may actually literally do that. Maybe we'll live stream it and put it up for you guys. But yeah, no, this game of the year right here. I mean, this is the trilogy. They're 1-1 against each other. This decides who's better, in my eye. And yeah, I'm going Bills -4.5 here. I didn't pick the Bills again last week with the spread, and that bit me because they did not go over, but they did cover the spread by a 0.5 point. But no, this is playoff time. This is Buffalo, New York. It's going to feel like 1 degree, literally 1 degree. There's going to be fans. I mean, there's tickets that are cheap.
We don't know if they're going to be fans. That's the problem.
Tickets are cheap right now.
Under $30 for tickets there at Highmark Stadium. So
tickets are very cheap right now, but I think it'll fill out. I think there will be a full crowd.
There may be an infiltration from fans from the east. They may make the direct route down I-90. From Foxborough there.
I don't know if they want to stay out in the cold. I mean, they've seen so many playoff games. They're not going to travel that long to sit out in that cold for that long. But yeah, no, the Bills -4.5 is the easy play here for me. I think the Bills win by at least a touchdown. I've seen a lot of analysts who agree with me. Josh Allen is the far superior quarterback than Mac Jones. Mac Jones has never played in conditions this cold, not even close.
The wind chill a couple weeks ago there in Buffalo was pretty close, but
the wind chill was close. So that was with wind. There's no wind this time. That's a factor. There's no wind, which means Mac Jones is going to have to throw the ball.
There will be, I believe,
more than 3 times.
Let's see if it's going to be any kind.
I think it is minuscule compared to what.
Yes.
What there was, but it's not going to affect Josh Allen.
You're right.
Mac Jones
7 miles an hour will be minimal compared to
right. Right. Tyler Bass will be able to kick a field goal and actually have a chance to go through the uprights as opposed to getting hit by a brick wall.
If it doesn't freeze and turn into an iceberg, the football,
this is true as well. But yeah, no, Josh Allen's a far superior quarterback than Mac Jones. We've got better weapons than the Patriots do. I think we will be ready for their run game. They are going to throw it more than 3 times. But I just love the Bills in this situation. I can't wait. Little preview, guys. But next week, if the Bills win, we could have a pretty special show. We're not going to give it away exactly what we have in mind, but yeah, be on the lookout for next week's show too. But yeah, long-winded answer. Bills -4.5. Go Bills. And I should mention this. The Oshai Children's Hospital, one of the children drew this as his rendition of the Bills logo. They've been selling it for charity, a great cause. I'm repping the Bills. I've worn a different piece of Bills gear pretty much every single day this week, so I'm just pumped. I see you got a jersey on there.
I do. I finally it's the Devin Singletary there, number 26 there. So
there we go.
Lighting.
There we go. Yep, we can see the single
stretch with the lightning. So, yes, we're going. We are also going to go with the Bills here. Maybe the kiss of death. Me going with the Bills. I usually don't like taking the Bills for sentimental and not sentimental, but superstitious reasons. But I agree with everything Game Day said. They're the better team. I would expect them to win by closer to a touchdown, if not more. I just don't think the Patriots can be able to run the ball like they did last time. Interesting stat: the Patriots are actually a bottom 10 team defensively against the run. Something you probably didn't know, but they are a bottom 10 team. And the Bills, really since the end of the second half of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, I believe that was week 15, if I'm not mistaken, have really had an emphasis on running the ball and have done so successfully with Motor Singletary. So as the
by the way, I think our future in the beginning of the first episode, Devin Singletary over the 500.5 hit with by over 300 yards, I believe. I think he was or 220 yards. I think he had 720 yards in the regular season. I'm not exactly sure.
It did.
But that hit.
It did hit.
And I should have mentioned in the last game, the Bengals won the AFC North, and that was my pick.
That's right. AFC North. Yes, he did. It's 6-1. Yes, 6-1 odds there on the Bengals. Absolutely. So,
but anyways,
Game Day Greg with some good futures bets. We should have. I don't know where they are.
We should have done that. Yeah,
we should have had them. So we will
do nothing about it.
We'll make an effort. We'll make an effort next year. Pertaining, we'll see if we we can get those together and have a end of the year review of those stats. This year we probably won't, but we have not. We will not, because
we'll say we
will. I don't know if we have them written down, but maybe next year. But yes, give me the Bills minus the 4.5 in a very you can't say the frozen tundra, because that's what Chris Berman calls the Lambeau, with the Lambeau, great Lambeau, not the kicker, the Lambeau, but the Curly Lambeau, of the Green Bay Packer fame, the Lambeau Field. So, and who says that an open air stadium is a good idea? $30, that just shows certain ownership groups that you have an open air stadium, doesn't matter who you're playing, $30 tickets for playoffs. I'm sure that really has got to really be really impressive there for the ownership group there in Buffalo, who shall remain nameless. So as we digress and move on. So, but
I would say 95% of our fan base knows the owners of the Buffalo Bills, if not 100. So
yes, absolutely. So, but we for our purposes, we'll leave them out. We'll redact them from the name from the show. So anyway, moving on to Sunday, the Sunday slate. The Philadelphia Eagles are going in to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is a interesting game. It opened up around this number. It stayed around this number despite over 60% of the money coming in on Tampa. The Eagles are plus 8.5, minus 110. Tampa Bay minus 8.5, minus 110. The money line in this game is Philly plus 310, Tampa minus 400. And the total points in the game, 45 over and 45.5 points, both to the over and the under, minus 110.
Yeah, I want to take the Bucks, but I feel like I'm just going to be a favorite heavy slate. I don't want that. I don't know. I'm a little torn here. I'm debating between the over the 45.5 and the Bucks minus 8.5. I'm going to take the over the 45.5 here. I think the Bucks could easily put up 30 to 35 on the Eagles. I do think the Bucks will win this game, but that number is just maybe a little too high for me. Jalen Hurts has been coming along these past couple of weeks. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't think either defense is going to be able to stop one another. So yeah, give me the over 45.5. I just love starting off a Sunday just rooting for points as opposed to a side. So 45.5.
Right. So over 45.5. I'm going to go a little bit different. That now, just as an observation here, that has been bet down pretty significantly here, folks. That was a 49 to start, and all the sharp money has come in on the under. But Game Day Greg going against the trend, which is okay. We like that. Going against the trend. I am going to go probably too obvious here with and sometimes it's not great to go with all the masses here. because the masses. There's a saying that says the masses are a certain thing, and you don't want to be that thing. But
Right.
fill in the blank for we want to keep it. We want to keep it professional here, folks. We're not going to go with the vulgarity, with the Kevin Durant. We're gonna avoid the Kevin Durant Kevin Durant take. So we'll fade that idea or fade that particular approach. But I am going to go with the Buccaneers minus the 8.5. Bucks minus 8.5. The Bucks this year have won. I believe I saw the stat. They have a winning margin of over 20 points at home in their home games on average. I think they've only lost once at home this year, if I'm not mistaken. That was to the Saints, if I'm remembering correctly, which I believe I am. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers minus the 8.5. I don't think they're going to screw around. I think the Eagles are probably going to be fairly overmatched here. The Bucks are supposedly going to be getting back Leonard Fournette, although no Rojo this weekend, no Ronald Jones. So Fournette will be in there with Keyshawn Vaughn, I would imagine, and Le'Veon Bell. Let's not forget about Lev Bell there at the running back position. So I like the Bucks. They are down, obviously, Chris Godwin. But I do like the Bucks here. They also, on the defensive end, are going to be getting back Shaq Barrett, and Jason Pierre-Paul will also be returning to the lineup. So give me the Bucks minus the 8.5.
Bucks minus 8.5. Okay. And who knows, folks? I am notorious for changing a pick before the picks are officially locked. So who knows?
He is.
Who knows?
He got scared off when he heard that the total had dropped from 49 to 45.5. 3.5 points in 3 days. That's what scared him off here, folks. So, but
yeah, maybe.
So the next game here, this is the Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson special. I don't know why it's on CBS. This is typically a Fox game, the NFC games, but they got shafted this year, folks. They didn't get a primetime game, and they got probably the worst, or the game with the biggest spread, or the second biggest spread, I should say, in the playoff round here. They got the Eagles Bucks, and they did not get this game, which is a much better game, which is San Francisco at Dallas. This line is San Francisco +3 -105, Dallas -3 -115. Money line in this game is San Francisco +140, Dallas -160. Total points is 51 to both the over and the under, -110. If you don't mind your game day, I'm going to go here first.
You take the next three. I got the first three. You take the next three.
Alternate. Excellent. Perfect. Yeah. So I am going to go with the San Francisco 49ers here, folks. Give me San Francisco plus the 3. Plus the 3 -105. You've got an advantage in the coaching department. You've got an advantage, in all likelihood, in the defensive department. Number 3 overall defense, both a top 10 defense against the run and the pass this year with San Francisco. And frankly, I know this is going to sound crazy. I trust Jimmy G in a big spot over Dak Prescott. I really do. I faded the Cowboys last week. That did not work out so well, as they did play everybody for most of the game against the Eagles, and the Eagles didn't play very many people, including Jalen Hurts. But I still, and even though Gardner Minshew looked good there in the first half, with the Minshew, yes. Homage to Chris Berman on that one. So homage to Boomer. But I think there's a couple ways you can play this game, but I really believe that San Francisco, I think there's going to be a lot of San Francisco representation in the crowd. I don't know if it's going to be as much as last week there in LA, where it's about, from all accounts, about 75% Niner fans and about 25% Ram fans in SoFi Stadium, the home of the Rams, which is somewhat ironic there. But I like San Francisco here. I really do. I think it might even be worth a little. We'll sprinkle on the money line, perhaps. We don't pick money lines.
Upset special.
We don't pick money. Yeah, maybe it could be, but we don't pick money lines here. We pick the spread. So I'm going to take the Niners plus the 3.
Niners plus the 3. Okay, this will make for an interesting game because I am picking the Cowboys -3.
Oh, going heads up here. Okay.
Going heads up. Yes, no family plays outside the Bills this week.
Outside the Bills.
Granted, it's only been 4 games, but yeah, no, I like the Cowboys in this spot. I really believe in momentum going into the playoffs, and 2 of the past 3 weeks they put up over 50 points as an offense. I think it could be a shootout. I'm not going to take the over because I like the Cowboys -3 a little bit more, but I think this could be a shootout. It could very well be the last team to have possession, but I just like the Cowboys and their weapons a little bit more, albeit 49ers do have Deebo Samuel, who, again, I'm not referring to the player props in the beginning of the year, but I am referring to the player props in the beginning of the year. That did go over with Deebo Samuel. And they have George Kittle, and I think Elijah Mitchell will be playing
He will
in
be
this
playing.
game.
Yes, Elijah Mitchell will.
So
be
they do have some weapons, but I like the Cowboys, the passing attack a little bit better than the 49ers. And I disagree. I think Dak Prescott is a little bit better in this situation than Jimmy G. But we'll just have to wait and see. It should make for a good first game on Sunday.
Has Dak Prescott ever played in a Super Bowl? Has he ever?
If Dak Prescott
won
was on the
NFC
Patriots, would he have made it?
Has he ever? That's not when Jimmy G made the Super Bowl. He made it with the 49ers, sir, 2 years ago.
That's true, but
Has he ever led a team to an NFC championship?
When's Dak been healthy? Has he ever been healthy going into those? So I don't know. I like Dak here.
Okay, fair enough.
Mississippi State guy. Gotta rep my guy here.
There you go.
Rep my team since moving down to Mississippi.
I thought your team was Ole Miss and Matt Corral.
No, I don't know. It's back and forth every other week.
Oh, okay.
I got people saying Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU. It's like you just don't know which one to take. So
yeah, well, you better off staying with one of the teams in the state, I would say. But fair enough.
USM, yes.
USM. There you go. USM, yes. Southern Miss.
Tangent.
Frank Gore III or Frank Gore Jr., I believe, whatever.
Frank Gore Jr., the starting quarterback the last 2 weeks of the year.
And they won. They won one of those games. So more power.
I think they won both of them.
Oh, they won both, and they almost beat UTSA in the Alamo Dome. Of course, the great UTSA.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Very good. Excellent.
We're off track here. Let's
off track.
It
We went the Frank Gore, but all right. So then the final game on Sunday. 3 games you get on Sunday, folks. 2 of them are not particularly competitive according to the odds makers here. This is the second of the non-competitive games. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Pittsburgh is plus 12.5, minus 110. KC is minus 12.5, minus 110. Money line in this game is plus 550 for the Steelers, minus 800 for Kansas City. Total points is 46, minus 110. Excuse me, to both the over and the under.
Pretty obvious play here, but allow you to go first.
Yes, I am not going to go the obvious play here, though. I know what you're going to go with there with that statement. So
I hope I'm wrong.
This would be a more obvious play if there were certain conditions. Looking at the weather here. Okay, so
30, thinking the over.
Upper 30s and the 9. No, I'm actually going to go the opposite here. I'm going to go the under on this game. Give me the under on this game. Under on this game. The Steelers are not going to be able to move the ball, I don't believe, on the Chiefs. And I think the Steelers are going to come out with a pretty decent defensive effort here. I don't necessarily think they're going to stop. I don't know what the status of Tyreek Hill is. I know he had a heel injury pre-game there last week against Denver and was very much limited. I don't know if he will be a full participant in this game. I think
he's going to play. We don't know the extent.
Okay. Well, regardless, I like the under in this game. I don't think that the Steelers are going to be over 14, and I don't necessarily think the Chiefs are going to be over 30. So I'm going to go under 46. Under 46.
Under 46. Okay. I am going to
go.
Don't love
this one though. Don't love this one, but.
With what most people would think is the obvious play here. I like Benny Buckets and him being different with the under. I think that certainly could play, but I like the Chiefs minus 12.5. When your starting quarterback for the opposing team comes out and says, we're not expected to be here, we're just going to go out and have fun. That's not really a playoff mindset. Some people may say it was a little bit of sarcasm, but he sounded pretty serious at the podium there. The Chiefs just have the way better team here. I mean, in all facets of the game, if you ask me, I'll take Patrick Mahomes 100 times out of 100 over Big Ben, and I think 12.5 may actually be a little low. I think this is a 2-touchdown game, at least. I see the Chiefs putting up at least 30, and that means in order for the Steelers to cover, they have to put up 18 or more, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm taking a little bit of some points that Ben made with the under, as opposed to why I'm taking. This is why I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 12.5. Yeah, I love the Chiefs in this situation. I mean, as a Bills fan, we hope they lose, right? Because
We do.
I'd rather play Tennessee, or I'd rather play if they lose, it would be the winner of the Bengals Raiders game. We would
In
play that.
Buffalo, yes, at
In
Highmark
Buffalo,
Stadium,
yes. So they're
We'll be rooting. We'll be rooting. Well, assuming the Bills win, we'll be rooting for the Steelers. Assuming
correct.
That's the large assumption.
Correct, which would make it a. We talked about this pre-production. We talked about this a lot, but a win-win for us because we picked that's a win, but if they don't, it helps the Bills. So win-win.
Win-win.
So yeah, Chiefs minus 12.5.
Win-win as opposed to win-win at the casino there in Vegas to win. So not to be
switches there. Okay.
As we digress there. So the final game of the week, it's a hometown game here for me. The Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals in to take in the LA Rams, and to take on the LA Rams, I should say, excuse me. This line has moved. It was 3.5. We saw it all the way up to 4.5 at one point. Now it's settled in at 4. Cardinals +4, -110. LA Rams and SoFi -4, -110. Money line in the game is Arizona +170, LA Rams -200. And the total points in this game is 49.5, both to the over and the other, -110. By the way, I don't think we gave you the money line there in the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game. Kansas City's -800 on the money line. Pittsburgh is +550. I believe we neglected to say that. So just for full disclosure and full transparency there on that. I am going to go with the over. The over. I actually got this over early in the week at 50.5.
Nice.
I wish I would have waited. I still like it over here. Both the games this year have gone over 50 points. The first game, I believe, was 53. The second game, I think, was 38-17, I want to say. So that was at 55. So I like the over here. Indoor, enclosure of a stadium track. I mean, we still don't know if it's an indoor and outdoor.
Beautiful weather. Beautiful weather.
Most likely, except for that one Raiders Chargers game where there was a delay because of lightning on the outside of opening of the stadium, on the side of the stadium there. But I like the over here. I think you're going to see some points. The Rams have the 22nd defense this year in total defense, a big regression from last year where they were the number 1 overall defense under the aforementioned Brandon Staley, who we did not address today, but maybe a future years we will. Some of the decision making from his perspective and the Raiders and the Chargers Raiders game. But I like the over in this game. I'm going to go over 49.5. I think you're going to see a lot of points. Chase Edmonds will play in the game according to him, and James Conner is likely to play as well with a rib injury. We'll see how long he can go or how far he can go. I just think you're going to see a good amount of points here, and it should be interesting. I don't really have a good feel for which side this game's going to go. The Cardinals are a much better team. The league leading 8-1 on the road, folks. So hard to pick against them on the road, but they already won once at SoFi. And this would be the rubber match, just like the Bills and the Patriots and the Bills in Orchard Park. This game at SoFi in LA or in Inglewood will be the rubber match of this season series between the Cardinals and the Rams. But I'm going to go over 49.5 in this one. Going back to my earlier point, if you believe in momentum going into the playoffs, the Cardinals have lost 4 of the past 5 games, as opposed to the Rams, who have won 4 of the past 5 games. But I agree with Benny Buckets here. The over is the play, over 49.5. I think this is going to be a shootout between 2 great quarterbacks, 2 great offenses. And it could come down to who has the ball last. Quite honestly, and I don't like picking those games in terms of the spread because it's very close. So yeah, over 49.5, just sit back, watch some points. All right, so we'll wrap it up here with the picks here for the week, and then we're going to do 2 best bets this week because we only have 6 games, which is a higher percentage of games we do best bets on than a typical week, but we'll still do that. And then moving forward for the divisional round, and then I don't know what we'll do for the championship. For the divisional round, at least, we'll determine the championship round when we get there. The divisional round, we will do one best bet, and we'll still do one upset special this week. We'll determine the divisional round. We'll do with the upset special. But I'm going to recap these here real quick before we get to the best bets. So for game day, Greg, he's going with the Bengals at home against the Raiders -5.5. Bills at home 4.5 against the Patriots. The total in the Bucks Eagles, total in the Eagles Bucks game, I should say, over 45.5 points. Cowboys at home -3 against the 49ers. Chiefs -12.5 at home against the Steelers, and the Cardinals at Rams over 49.5 points. For Benny Buckets, we've got the Raiders Bengals game over 48.5 points. Pats at the Bills -4.5. Eagles at the Bucks -8.5, or Buccaneers -8.5. 49ers +3 at the Cowboys. Steelers, Chiefs under 46, and Cardinals at the Rams over 49.5. If you want to start us off here, I think last week I went first. You want to start us here on the best bet, sir? First best
Sure.
bet.
My first best bet is going to be none other than the Bills -4.5 against the New England Patriots.
All right, so he's going with the Bills. I gotta get a new pens with the ink.
With the ink. Okay, yes, this is a good time to remind you guys that these lines do move. They do change. So if you like a line, I would suggest getting it in right away because the line could shift, especially as we get closer to these kickoffs. The sharp money usually comes in a little bit later. So just something to be on the lookout for.
Bills -4.5. Okay. Absolutely. I agree with that. That's a very good point. You'll see much more line movement on Sunday or Sunday morning or Saturday morning, as it were, for the games tomorrow than you will in the days leading up typically, because there's more money bet on the day of the game than in the week leading up to it, generally speaking. So, yes, Bills -4.5. I am going to go for my first best bet. I am going to go with the Bucks -8.5.
Bucks -8.5. Okay. All right. And my second best bet is actually going to be the you can flip a coin here, folks. Cowboys or Chiefs. Cowboys or Chiefs. Because I want the Steelers to win, I'm going to go Cowboys -3 as my second best bet. Cowboys -3 over the 49ers.
Okay. All right. My second best bet and the final best bet this week, I'm going to go with the Raiders Bengals over 48.5.
Raiders Bengals over 48.5. Okay. All right. Now we're getting into Benny Buckets and my favorite segment. Ben, why don't you start with your upset special? Because I think I went first last week.
Yeah. Are we duplicating this week or no with the upset special? Are we determined?
I think we have different ones either way.
Oh, we do. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, you didn't pick any upsets in your pick, so you're probably going to
right.
Forward a bit. Okay.
I think I know where you're going, and I'm not going that way.
Got right. That makes sense. Yes, you went. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Well, this is a playoff edition.
Wow.
So playoff edition, folks, of the upset
Our speakers
special.
just broke, folks. If you can't hear us, we know why.
This is a playoff edition of the upset special. I am going to go with the 49ers. The 49ers, I had them on the spread here +3. Give me the 49ers on the upset special.
49ers on the upset special. All right. It's hard to top that. My upset special is going to be the Arizona Cardinals over the LA Rams. I love that stat that you gave out on the road. It could come down to the last team that has ball, and if the Cardinals have ball, I could certainly see a win. Although they haven't been rolling into the playoffs very hot, but you never know. So yeah, Cardinals as my upset special.
Cardinals upset special. All right. Well,
it's gonna do it.
Like to take us out here. Yeah,
absolutely. That's gonna do it, folks. A little bit shorter of a show for you guys. One thing to be on the lookout for too in the future, we were making a little, I didn't even tell my partner this, but making a little headway on the getting this into multiple platforms as opposed to just YouTube. So we are working on that behind the scenes. We will have updates for you guys shortly, exactly what that entails, but yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I know it's going to be playoff filled. It's going to be awesome. It's a different time of year. You shake. You can't wait for the games. it's going to be something else. But yeah, no, I'm Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets. Happy betting, safe betting, and happy football Super Wildcard Weekend.